This passage that we've just heard from Luke's gospel, it's very revealing. At the start, we're told that Mary set out and traveled in haste to a Judean town to visit a relative, Elizabeth, wife of the high priest Zechariah. Mary is pregnant, Elizabeth is pregnant, and Mary goes to seek the support from Elizabeth. And she gets the support, but she gets far more than she could have ever expected. As soon as Mary entered Elizabeth's house, the child in Elizabeth's womb, John the Baptist-to-be, leaped with delight. But Elizabeth isn't finished. Blessed are you indeed. Blessed are you who believe that what was spoken to you by the Lord would be fulfilled. Here is what is most remarkable about Mary, Our Lady. She believed. She believed. She trusted that what God promised would happen through her and it would be realized. But listen to what God has promised. You are going to conceive in your womb a son, and you will call him Jesus. He will be great and will be hailed as Son of the Most High, and of his kingship there will be no end. Can you hear the utter trust in Mary's very simple response? Let it be with me as you say. Let it be with me as you say. You see, Gabriel didn't leave Mary with a here's your life scenario. There were no details whatsoever in Gabriel's message. He never told her that she would become a refugee with her infant son to escape a king's anger. He never told her that when her child grew up, some of his own relatives would think he was crazy and come to claim him, or that the people of Nazareth, his own hometown, would want to throw him over the cliff. He never told her what aging Simeon in the temple would foretell. This child is marked for the fall and the rise of many in Israel. This child is to be a symbol that will be rejected. Indeed, a sword of sorrow is going to pierce your heart too. He never told her that some of his fellow Jews would one day charge Jesus with having a devil in him, that one of his closest friends would betray him with a kiss, that he would die between two thieves, the gruesome death of the cross, but not to worry, he would rise again shortly afterwards. God asked of Mary only this: trust me. Trust me. And she did, totally. She believed first, and in believing, she conceived. What did she do to conceive Christ? Very simply, she made an act of faith. She said yes to God without reservation. Do with me whatever you want, dear Lord. Do with me whatever you want. And this beautiful icon of our Mother of Perpetual Help, I believe this is exactly what happens to every person who comes before this icon, either to pray on their knees or to stand and gaze at her. The first thing that happens is Mary invites all who gaze upon her to believe. To believe. And what is it that she wants us to believe? That what the Lord has promised will be fulfilled, will come to pass, will be realized. And that promise has a name: Jesus. Jesus is the promise that Mary holds in her arms and presents to you. Of course, it's not always easy to believe in Jesus. As happened with Mary, so happens with us. In Christ, God has not provided any one of us with a scenario of our lives of what is going to happen to us. So what has God promised? This is what God has promised: that Jesus Christ, who became one of us, will never abandon us, will always be there for us, no matter how absent he seems to us, no matter how far away, no matter how far we stray, how faithless we become, that even if we desert him, Jesus will never wave goodbye to us. Let me conclude now with two stories, and both of them are true. The first true story I told 10 years ago in 2005 while I was giving a mission, and I was ending a homily on trust. A two-story house caught fire. The family, father, mother, and several children, were hurriedly leaving the house when the smallest boy became terrified, broke away from his mother's grasp, and ran back into the house, and suddenly appeared on the second floor at a window that was filled with smoke. His father, standing outside in desperation, shouted out to him, "Jump, son, jump! I'll catch you." The little boy was screaming like crazy, and he cried, "But Daddy, I can't see you. I can't see you. I can't see you." "I know," his father called. "I know, but I can see you." And the little boy jumped to safety. Second true story, a letter dated a year ago from a lady in San Antonio, Texas, who learned or heard me preach this homily that I had given 10 years prior. I quote her word for word. "When my sister Kathleen was diagnosed with cancer in January, during the mission, you encouraged us every day to pray to our Mother of Perpetual Help and taught us to love praying the Memorare. When she was at the very end and unconscious, my brother-in-law asked me if I would say something. I suddenly remembered your story of the fire. And I said to my dying sister, 'Jump, Kathy, jump. He can see you.' She died quietly. Our Mother of Perpetual Help invites us to do the same. 'Jump,' she says. 'Do not be afraid. Jesus is here. Jump. Trust him. I will help you. I will lead you to the one who promises to be with you always. Whether you can see him is not all that important. He can see you. He does, always. Jump.'"